Are we coming through? Are we coming through? Yes, we are. So apologies those in the stream. We are having a few technical difficulties, but I am coming through now. So those that are here, hello, how are we? That might be. I have an idea why that might be. So here we are for apologies. Let me get the intro going. So we're here for the IIRL Season 11 Assist Tier 1. This is round 7 and we're going around China. So we have got a sprint race, but we will just have a 3-minute break prior to the start of this sprint. No, it's 3 minutes for the sprint. So we have 3 minutes for the sprint. So at the moment we can't hear him, but I can hear him. He's in my ear. We've got Mink, who's one of our newer members. But at the moment we can't hear him. We are trying to sort that out. Yeah, Scott, for some reason we can't hear Mink. Is it because I might be hosting on PlayStation? Or can I hear you now? It's because Discord VC doesn't allow it. If we were both on PC, this wouldn't matter. Or if you were hosting, it wouldn't matter so much. So that's a bit of a letdown. But that's Discord's fault. That's not ours. That's not any fault of ours. So for now, unfortunately, it's just my voice you can hear. Hello, Jack. So, as it stands, these are the starting times we've got for the sprint. We've got TomasRulik. Apologies for a butchered pronunciation. I'm just going to say Thomas on pole, who's on the mediums. Lewis on the hards in P2. Rella P3 on the mediums. Cvix 4th on the mediums. Ty on the softs. Padge, that guy, all on the softs. We've got Jack on the softs with Snipes on the mediums. Johnny B, SOX and Jensen all on the mediums. Chipmunk and Cod Camper. Chipmunk on softs and Cod Camper on the mediums. Oh dear. Oh, what's good downforce? You're asking the wrong person because I haven't raced China and I don't intend to. So Lewis has changed from the hards to the mediums. That's probably not the daftest thing as we're about to go onto our formation lap. So, for those interested, our sprint format, we do a 25% race. So in our sprint, the drivers are forced to stop. But we do it in reverse championship order. So we're having issues. We're having issues. That's not ideal. Oh, Snipes has left. Do you have Snipes as a friend to invite him back? I will check if I do. That's an issue. I don't have Snipes. So yeah, the drivers will be forced to make us stop tonight in our sprint format. So those on the mediums looking to go a bit longer, have a bit more performance at the end. Those on the softs looking to go aggressive at the start, make up a few positions potentially. So I will just get up for us. I will get the championship standings. So of the drivers that are racing, these are the reverse. This is the reverse order of those that are racing. Sim roster is asking me to sign in. That's not new. So as the drivers come up to the line, we're about to get ready to set off for the Chinese Grand Prix. All right. If you could be like, if I'm missing anything. I know the stream can't hear you, but if I'm missing anything, you can be on me. So just wait. So as we've got 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, lights out. Now and away they go. And it looks like a pretty good start from our race leader Thomas and Lewis. As the 2 kicks out, but seem to swap positions. So Padge getting a great start on those softs, he's looking to attack. Yeah, it's pretty clean so far. I don't think we've had any incidents. As Thomas has a good healthy lead. 6 temps going in at the end of the first sector. There's a few moves down the inside there. I believe that was Ty. Oh, we've got Jack and Rella both off. What has happened there? Jack is missing a front wing. Well, Rella's missing half of his front wing. And what on earth happened there? As we've got a VSC. To make racing redundant after just a sector and a half. I think there's been some wheel hooking gone on there. Which is, in this game, it's less than ideal. You can blame the great collision mechanics on this game for the wheel hooking. So with a VSC, I wonder if any of our soft runners will pit to go to the hards to go to the end. It'd be a long stint, but it might be the smart one. So just look, so Cvix makes up 1 position, Padge has made up 2. That guy's made up 2 as Ty's into the box. And Jack. Oh no, he's not going to get a penalty, is he? No, good. Yeah, so Ty's doing what I would do. I'm on PS5. As we're back racing. I'm sorry, I did miss that. I did have my producer in my ear. So Thomas has brought out a 1.5 second lead. She's broken the DRS. As we're on board with the VCAP, making his debut tonight, I'd like to add. So welcome into IIRL. As he's extending that gap to Lewis behind. So this is a great start for Thomas. They get a 2-second gap to the Ferrari. There's our closest battle on track. We've got ChicChipmunk almost pushing that guy round. That guy really struggling on the soft tyres. And then we've got a gap from SOX. SOX is at the back of this train. We've got a gap back to Ty, who did box for the hards. So my estimation is he's going to try and get to the end. As ChicChipmunk is past that guy into the braking zone. So that guy must be really struggling for tyre warm-up on these opening laps after the safety car, as it's a 2-second gap to Thomas out in front, as ChicChipmunk sets the fastest lap on those soft tyres. Have we got any movers and shakers? Padge is pushing Lewis round and ChicChipmunk is then pushing Padge round. And there's a bit of Ty's, I think, sorry, Chipmunk's lost an end plate on the back of Padge. That is less than ideal at this circuit. As he looks down the inside of Padge, he's going to force Padge to go wide. He's got past Padge there. Yeah, Johnny being side by side. Can't make the move, stick on the outside. It's probably the sensible thing to just tuck back in, wait for the DRS. As he's got Cod Camper looking down the inside. Bit of contact between the Haas and the Ferrari. And Cod gets through. As Snipes looks to get past Johnny B. Johnny B's been put out to sea here. I think Snipes has got past now, has he? They're going to fight this out. Johnny B's not giving this up, but I think Ty's going to have the traction on exit. Yes, he is. There's Cod Camper as well. He's past Padge, who's dropped down the order. That guy gets past Jensen. Oh, that guy is back in front of Jensen as Chipmunk gets in front of Lewis with that end plate damage, not affecting him too much. And Johnny B's lost out to SOX as well. It's all going off. Oh, there's contact. What's going on there? There's 7 cars within about, what, a second? 8 cars? Okay, it's a bit of chaos. Cod Camper up to P5, our championship leader. And that all stemmed from Cod Camper going down the inside of Johnny B after Johnny B's battle with Jensen. And Johnny B, from battling Jensen, is down to P10. He's battling with SOX. He's looking to get back up to P9. Can he get back up there? We'll stay on board with him for now as he gets quite close to Scott. They're getting side by side through the hairpin. Give each other plenty of racing room, a lot of respect. And Johnny B goes back through into P9. That guy has dropped down to P8 on those soft tyres. Those soft tyres might be starting to struggle. As we can see at the front as well, Chipmunk has dropped off the back. We've got Cod Camper all over the back of his teammate, with Jensen all over the back of Cod Camper. Cod has to defend, but he might get the traction here. He's sort of pushed out wide a bit. They're 3 wide through the long right-hander. And who's the loser? Lewis has lost out 2 positions. Jensen's the big winner there. He's managed to get past Cod and Lewis. The Snipes is looking at Lewis now. And into the braking zone. They're side by side. They're still all on the track. They're getting so close to each other. I'm wondering, has Padge had an accident? Had a spin? I didn't see that. He's down to P11. The man that was P3. Snipes and Jensen are going at it into turn 1. The long turn 1 into 2 into 3. I forget where all these corners go. Forget all the corner numbers. The Johnny B's past that guy. He'll be looking to get past Lewis next. Stay on board with Johnny B. Oh, they're too wide. They're going wide at the hairpin. Plenty of respect given again. Oh, that guy's a massive slide out on exit. He's lost out. I think those tyres are just about done. 4 laps on the softs at China is just... it's a big ask. So Johnny B, the Haas man, up into P7. As it's all quietened down now, they've all got into a bit of a running order. There's not much side-by-side action going on at the moment. So we'll go up to Thomas, who's 3 seconds ahead of Cvix. So it's looking to be a good debut so far. If we could walk away with a sprint win or at least a podium, that would be a great effort to start with. As Cod has got Jensen all over the back of him, and Jensen gets past with the DRS. Oh, he is as well. SOX is past Lewis. The man in the Williams past the Ferrari. As Chipmunk comes into the pits, not the worst idea. Get off those softs. As Lewis also boxes. I'm assuming he's going to be going to the hard tyre. Oh, Lewis has also got wing damage. But they're not changing the front wing. I don't know if they added a bit of front wing just to get a bit more bite. But they haven't changed the front wing. Alex in chat, we've got a yellow flag in sector 1, but for who, Chris Kamara? What's gone on there? Alex, hello, Divad. Hello, Axel. Why are you not here? What are you doing? So you've got a yellow in sector 2. Is that Padge? Padge trying out the latest Aston Martin lawnmower. That's one expensive green lawnmower. That's the last thing those tyres need. Padge really struggling now. He's 11, nearly 12 seconds off the back of that guy. It looks a bit of a handful to drive. Is Padge back on controller, or has he just got a horrible setup on? What has he done? There's a nice tussle going on here between Jensen, Cod and Snipes, and Johnny B getting involved. Oh, it's a bit of a wobble for Snipes on exit. Almost Fernando Alonso'd it into the wall as SOX and that guy both pit. Now, China, one of the most difficult pit entries. As we have the famous 2007 incident with Lewis Hamilton. Went straight on. Through no fault of his own, his tyres were absolutely gone. I'm about to say Chipmunk has just got past, but the undercut on those ahead, that's a massive gain. As Tyre's got past Scott, but on 5 lap older hard tyres. So Ty's gamble going to pitting on lap 1 might not have worked out as well as he'd liked. Yeah, we've got Padge in the pits as well. Padge out of the pits actually. Out into P14. In the Aston Martin. Cvix he's not really closed the gap to Thomas in front. He's gained in some places, but he's losing out in some. It's hovered around that 3.1 to 2.8. It's got that to 2.7. This is the lowest it's been for quite a bit. 2.6. He must be burning the battery. We've got Johnny B. He's moving for some clean air. As Cod has had enough of the back. He's had enough of the back of that Williams. He's passed Jensen. He gives him the room on exit. As Jensen has boxed. He's gone a bit wide in the pit lane. So Snipes has got a warning. Was that for that wobble out of the last corner? Yeah, it was for his wobble out of the last corner. So Jensen to the hard tyre. 6 laps on the hard tyre. He's just done 8 laps on the mediums. He's come out ahead of Ty, so the gamble Ty took has not really paid off for him. It's pit on lap 1. I suppose he had to do something different. But Johnny B down in P5, just out of DRS range. Snipes 7 attempts back from Cod Camper. So I'm wondering, when will Cod pit, our championship leader? So Jensen's probably going to get the undercut if he can get those tyres up to temperature. Cvix has closed the gap to 2.2 seconds. He's getting about half a second on this lap. 2.1 now. Slowly gaining, but is it enough? Jack and Rattler, after their incident, they're not in the last positions anymore. Jack gaining really quickly on Lewis as Lewis goes really wide to defend the position. Jack didn't have DRS up. Was he not in DRS? It's Johnny B into the pits. So he's going for a 5 lap stint on the hard tyre. Jensen's passed him. That's a much bigger gap, and Johnny B comes out behind SOX and behind Ty, but is he going to get straight back past Ty? Yes, he is. Johnny B back past. the McLaren. There's Lewis and Jack having a tussle in turn 1. Ferrari versus Mercedes. Where have we seen that before this season at China? Jack backs out, probably waiting for DRS on the main straight. So our top 3, Thomas has gained 1.2 seconds this lap. Even more time. Cvix has slowed down massively. Has he got an issue? As Snipes looks for a move on Code, they're going side by side into the hairpin. Snipes gets a wobble on exit, can't get the power down. They're both coming into the pits now. Oh, Code goes really deep, nearly into the barrier. Will Snipes go for a move in the pit lane? You'd be a brave man to try that. Cvix also comes into the pits. So Thomas sticking with his tyres for another lap. I hope he knows he's got to box, as he's one of our newer drivers. It's Chipmunk up into P2 after the undercut. Got Jensen up into P3. Cod Camper 1.8 seconds behind on fresh soft tyres. Snipes 6 tenths back. That guy's 6 tenths back. Okay, we've got the little pack back together. Cvix went for a late move on Johnny B there. Sensibly backs out of it. Cod Camper's gained about 6 tenths of a second on Jensen alone this lap. He's going to be within DRS on that back straight. So Cod, if he can nail this little chicane, if he can get the power down on the exit, he might be within touching distance of getting a move on Jensen for the final podium position, as Thomas does pit. Don't speed into the pit lane, he's done well there. We'll stay on board unless Cod can't close. He's stayed around that 6 tenth margin. Cod might be on slightly higher wings than Snipes, because Snipes gains a lot on that back straight. But they're right within the DRS of Jensen now. I wonder if Cod is going to go for a move into turn 1. He doesn't want to be behind. Cod goes to the inside, gets back past Jensen. Will Jensen fight this back? Yes, he will. Into turn 1. He likes to defend, does Jensen, but he can't get it done. It's Johnny B and SOX are going side by side. As Cod Camper does get ahead. Oh, Johnny B's round! I think he's made contact with SOX. Johnny B, well, he's facing back onto the main straight. He's got that going again. It doesn't look to be any damage on the Haas. Now Cod Camper and Thomas within DRS of Chipmunk on 5 lap fresher soft tyres, as Cod has already broken the DRS to Jensen, so Jensen really struggling on those harder tyres. I'm going to stay on board with Thomas. Can Thomas get back past Chipmunk, take the lead of the sprint, and take his first victory of any kind in IIRL in his debut race? Now pulling away from Cod Camper. Jensen's gained a lot back on Cod Camper. Cod Camper must be running a bit higher wing. As they're 3 wide into the hairpin. As SOX gets... Is it SOX? No, it's that guy. It is SOX. He's got ahead. Cod Camper sets the fastest lap as Thomas into turn 1 is well ahead of Chipmunk. As Snipes gets ahead of Jensen, who's gone off track and is ghosted for the moment. But Jensen down to P5. Now Cod will want to get the hammer down. Our championship leader will want to get the hammer down and try his best to get past ChicChipmunk, who's on 4 lap older tyres. Granted, they are the mediums and Cod on the softs. He just needs to get within DRS. The beautiful thing is, if Cod is not happy with his setup, as he seems to be a bit slow on the straight, he can change that. He can change the setup for the feature race. He's easily within DRS of ChicChipmunk. Will stay on board with our championship leader here onto the back straight. And Cod, even with DRS, he's not really gaining. ChicChipmunk double front lockup, that's less than ideal for those front tyres. They'll be like driving on a 20 pence piece. This is about the closest battle on track as SOX stays ahead of that guy. Cod into turn 1. Is he going to go? He's gone down the inside. Is he going to make that stick on fresher tyres? Yes, he is. That's a clever move from our championship leader. Knowing where he's faster than his opponent, and he's managed to get past. Now, can he hunt down Tomas, who's got a 2-second buffer to the car behind? He's got a lap fresher tyres as Lewis retires in the pit lane. Just checking it wasn't anything on track. He's retired in the pit lane. Cod has closed on Tomas. So our championship leader from the back of the grid, from P14, is up to P2. Flicks it in, gets the hammer down onto the back straight. We'll go on board with that guy as he's going to look to get past SOX. We'll go on board with Johnny B as well. He's nice and close, tucked up behind the rear of that McLaren. Those tyres on that McLaren must be struggling. 11 laps old. He did pit at the end of lap 1. Johnny B, after his spin, not where he wants to be, still in the points. Our sprint point system is slightly different, as it's for the top 10 rather than the top 8 like the real F1 sprint. On the anchors and moves up into P9. Nice and clean move, but Ty looks for the switchback, just doesn't have the rubber left on those tyres to make a move as that guy gets back past SOX. These two have been closely matched on track today. Wonder if we'll see more of that in the main feature race. Where are our closest battle? These two are about the closest on track, as Snipes is going to look for a move on ChicChipmunk at the end of this lap if he can stay close and get DRS on that back straight. We're moving to our last lap. And Tomas coming into the final sector. He's got one sector to go. On his IIRL debut, looks set to take a maiden win in his debut race. Even though it's a sprint, it's still a great start to your racing career to take a win. As we've got Snipes looking at the back of ChicChipmunk. This could get tasty into the final hairpin. They're going side by side into the hairpin. Can he get the power down? He can't. We'll go to Tomas as he comes around the final corner to take the sprint win on his debut in IIRL. As the McLaren pushes the Mercedes off track. And Snipes misses out on the podium by 37 thousandths. As SOX comes on P7, that guy in P8. As we've got Johnny B will come on P9. Ty comes home in P10. Jack, after his earlier contact, good recovery, puts into the wall for a bit of fun, comes on P11. And his car is flashing in front of my screen. Rella in P12. And our Lord and Saviour, Lord Padge, comes around the final corner to be the final runner across the finish line in P13. So there we are. That was our sprint for the Chinese Grand Prix. No penalties incurred. That's quite a shock round here. As Tomas on debut. I pressed all sorts of buttons before I spun. Yeah, probably not the best thing to do, especially out of that corner. As Tomas takes the sprint win on debut. Great debut so far. Can he take that pace into our feature race? First off, we have got qualifying. So there you are. Our sprint results there. So we have Tomas in P1, who started P1. Great result for him. Cod Camper in P2, started from the back of the grid, of course, thanks to leading the championship. ChicChipmunk from 13th up to 3rd. Great recovery from those two. Snipes from P8 up to P4. Jensen from P12 to P5. Cvix in 6th. SOX in 7th. That guy in 8th. Johnny B in 9th after an early spin. Ty in 10th. Jack in 11th, Rella in 12th after their contact, Padge in P13 and Lewis our only DNF in P14. So there we go, that is our sprint for the Chinese Grand Prix. As we now move into a short break and then qualifying, and then followed by a 50% feature race. I had the battery on hot lap that I never use. Well, that's less than ideal, isn't it, Johnny? I didn't catch it on stream, so Johnny dropped that himself. Ah, that's a shame. But it's a good recovery though, mate. Still points. It's still points. As we just wait for our race lobby to be ready. One shot qualifying, are they alright? There we go, short qualifying. Yeah, Johnny B is too innocent to accept, too innocent to lie and say that Scott did it. User error, Johnny, especially out of that corner. We've all been there, don't you worry. I've done it plenty of times. Why do you think I'm not driving China? As we just wait for confirmation of what time we'll get going. Do we have any early predictions in the chat for who might take pole? Might we see Tomas on debut on pole? Oh, just nearly fallen out my chair. That's clever. Yeah, to be fair, Johnny, you and Scott were having a nice battle. It was a nice battle to watch. Hello, Mr. Padge, how are we? My Lord and Saviour. How are you, sir? Hope you are well. I believe we are starting in 30 seconds what will be a short qualifying followed by a 28 lap feature race for the Chinese Grand Prix. This is where the big points are, this is the big money. These are the big prizes. So I'll go through our championship standings. At the moment we've got COD P1 in the standings with 125 points, 5 wins under his belt, We've got Adrian's, who's not here tonight, in P2 on 85 points. We've got ChicChipmunk in P3 on 76 points. We've got Nivek JT, which is Jensen, on 65 points. SOX in P5 on 64 points. Johnny in P6 on 56 points. Jack in P7 on 51 points. We've got Fokker Masters in P8 on 34 points. And we've got that guy in P10 on 29 points. So those are our top 10 in the standings. We have also got a debutant tonight in Tomas, who took the sprint win. So it's a great way to mark yourself into IIRL by taking a sprint win. It's as many wins as I've got, and I'm on nearly 40 races here. So, anyone in the lobby, do we know what the weather is? Dry. Oh! Couldn't be a bit of fun. Dry all the way through, Johnny. Oh, I'm looking forward to some bit of wet race, bit of drama, you know. As we've got Tomas on track first, he's beaten Jack out on track. That is not something we see every day. Jack not first out on track. I can provide that. Please provide drama. It's quite lonely in the comms box tonight, even though I've got Mink in my ear as my producer. You unfortunately can't hear him on stream. Good luck, Johnny. I'll let you get on with your qualifying. Hold my beer. Oh, have you got one? I'd love one. So we've got our newcomer Tomas, who's going to be the first to complete a lap. So we saw he had good race management and good pace in the sprint. We'll see now, does he have the qualifying pace to back that up? In the RB, weaving to get plenty of temperature into those tyres, opens the DRS. Now, that had been my biggest fear. Weaving full throttle with DRS open. I've done that and hit a wall once. That wasn't fun. So we'll stay on board with our newcomer. As he puts the hammer down on his flying lap. Holding it in 7th gear. It goes into turn 1, barrels into turn 1. Now, this is a fun corner if you can get it right. Clips that inside apex, maybe just a little bit wide, but you can get away with it. Tightens up, flat on the power. Out of that long right-hander. And he puts in a 24.145 for the first sector. Clips that inside apex quite nicely at the hairpin. The Daniel Ricciardo hairpin. Holds it in 6th gear in the long left-hander. It's flat out on these games. Slight lift off on the brakes into this long left-hander. One of Lewis Hamilton's favourite corners. Oh, and he has a wobble on the curb. And I think he might have backed out. Was he? No, he's not backed out. Oh, I think, yeah, he's backed out. So Tomas has backed out. So our next person on track is Jack, who is still pushing. Looks like a pretty solid lap from Tomas up until that little moment on the curb. Never nice to go over those curbs. So Jack slams on the anchors, the DRS closes, clips that inside apex very nicely. Flat on the power. Brakes for the last corner, to the line, Jack to the line, and puts in a 1:33.2. So that is our benchmark. We go to who's next on a lap. Ty is the next one on a lap. I think he's gone for a warm-up lap. Puts in a 1:34.7. Civix puts in a 1:32.2, puts himself a second clear of Jack. Now I think Ty is on for a second lap. Must have gone for a quick warm-up lap. Who else is on a lap? Chipmunk at the end of sector 1. Jensen coming around the final corner. We jump aboard with him for his last bit of this lap. Jensen to the line. A 32.3. Just shy of a 10th. Away from provisional pole, which is currently held by the Kicksauber of Civix, 79. It's not a bad lap from Jensen. It's a good banker. He's in the ballpark for those that have set a lap so far. Who else is on a lap? Chipmunk. He's about to go into the last sector. This long corner waiting to go full power. You can go full power. Given the newer games, you can go full power quite early. He's getting a lovely toe there off Jack. Johnny B goes to P1. Go on, Johnny B. What a lap. 2 temps clear. From the man saying he's going to provide the entertainment. Well, the entertainment has been provided. Hello, Mink. My producer is back, everybody. Ah. Alright, no worries, man. Thank you for being here. Sorry we couldn't get you on stream. We'll sort it out for another day. Ciao, ciao. And you, have a good evening, man. So now I am on my own. So we missed out there. Chipmunk going P1 by 9 milliseconds. Now that's gonna upset Johnny. As Ty did improve by a second to go to a 33.3. So he's last of our runners so far. Who's furthest along on track? I think it's Padge. Let's say Padge is the furthest along on a lap. Our Lord Padge. The man who I owe my league racing career to. As Padge is our main recruiter. He's brought in all this talent. And without him, IIRL wouldn't exist. So what a wonderful man he is. He goes past the McLaren, gets out the way nicely, slams on the anchors. Takes a lot of curb there. That is a lot of curb. Puts the power down, throws it into the last corner. Don't run wide. He's done well to hold it onto the track. Padge to the line at 1:33.0. Puts it up to P6. It's not a bad lap. As Cod Camper proves why he's the championship leader and puts it 2 temps clear of the competition and says, don't forget about me, I'm still here. With a 1:31.8. Now, if you give me just a few seconds, apologies for, no, not try to start. Our fastest lap in 81 qualifying is a 1:30.3 from the man himself, Cod Camper. So we're a second and a half off, so unless there is a lap of all laps, I don't think we're going to see any lap records here tonight. Which is a shame. But we can make up with that with some good racing. As Tomas goes P1, so there's that pace. He's been on a second lap. There's that pace that we saw in the sprint. And he's backed it. I said, could he back it up in qualifying? He's done more than that. He's P1 at the moment. Half a tenth clear of Cod Camper. So that could make for some interesting racing later on. If they are that close in qualifying, how close are they going to be on track? if we've got anyone else on a lap. At the moment, no one else on a lap. Lewis just about to start. Just about to start a flying lap. He invalidated his first lap, unfortunately. As he goes into that long, sweeping right-hander of turn 1. Clips the apex quite nicely. Managed to get full power, foot flat to the floor, and floors it towards the end of sector 1, a 24.4 purple. But as we know, the purple sector is about as reliable as a Greek accountant. It throws it through. See, China is a great flowing track if you can get it right. Powers it out, going towards the end of sector 2. What's this split of 52.8? That doesn't seem so bad. Flicks it right. In the Ferrari, the yellow T-cam Ferrari. My favourite Ferrari. Foot flat to the floor. Using all the brakes, a little bit wide, but he can get away with that on exit. Braking for the final corner, put foot flat to the floor straight away to the line. Lewis P10 with a 1:32.3. Who else is on a lap? We've got SOX on a lap. Check who else is on a lap. I think SOX is going to be our next one to improve or to put a lap in. Then as Ty is 3.5 tenths up, I just saw. I'm just going to stay on board with him for the delta. Half a second up, Ty. So at the moment that will put in P6. That'll be a great lap. We'll come back to Ty as we jump on board with SOX, who's at the hairpin. And that wonderful looking Williams, I must say. I do like that Williams. It is my car in AT2 when I do race. SOX to the line, 32.5, so up to P7 with his first effort. That's not a bad lap. As Jax jumps up to P8 with a 32.9, Snipes starts a lap. As Ty goes with 32.9, 4 milliseconds behind Jack. Now they could have an interesting battle on track today. Here's hoping. ChicChipmunk looks to be the next to complete a lap. Foot to the floor. He was slightly down on his time. We'll be hoping he can improve through this final sector, and he does by 2 thousandths. It's no movement. It stays in P4 as Civic's jumped up to P3. My apologies, I'm not paying much attention. So our top 3 are separated by half a tenth. Our 4th, 5th and 6th are separated by a hundredth of a second. Now that is the sort of qualifying gaps you want to see for a competitive race. The man who was on provisional pole, the man going into the pits now, Johnny B, he's now down in P6, but he's only 2 tenths off. That is unbelievable. A Snipes, a 10.5 misses out on pole. A 10.5 and you are 4th. That is unbelievable. Our top 7 are separated by 2 tenths. This is about the closest I can remember. As Jensen on his outlap, we haven't paid the rent for out there, son. You can't use that bit. There's Rella. Oh, he's on low fuel. He's run out of fuel. That's not an issue. You can get away with that on this game. That guy on a lap. Yet to set a lap time, that guy. Doesn't get a lot of screen time, that guy, but quietly goes about his business and is one of our more consistent drivers as he jumps into the box, so he wasn't happy with his lap. Jensen is into the pits. And Snipes will be coming into the pits. So at the moment we haven't got anyone on track. Speaking of which, Lewis has just jumped out of that Ferrari garage. Ty has just jumped out of the McLaren garage. So it's very quiet at the moment. So we've now got a Ferrari V6 lighting up the track, and we've got a Mercedes V6 lighting up the track. We've got a few more cars coming out now. We've got Padge. Yeah, we've got Padge on an outlap. We've got Cod coming out, the championship leader. Now he knows the gap he has to make up. And you'd think with so many corners, so many long corners and traction zones, 4200ths will be quite easy to make up. I'd tell you now, it's not. Anyone that plays these games know that is a difficult gap to make up. If you've given it everything, how can you give any more? Apologies, because all the names are different. I'm guessing this is Snipes, because I think the tow you got must have been exceptional. Oh no, sorry, it's Chipmunk, isn't it? Is it? I don't know who's who in the chat, I do apologise. I did see a McLaren getting a monster of a tow. That must have been Chipmunk, yeah. He's on a lap now, so he won't be able to type. So we've gone from absolute deathly quiet to every car is on the track. As these are about the best conditions you are going to get. As Ty is going to be the first one to get on a lap. Snipes, thank you. So that is teamwork coming into play. Only a 10th and a half out, mate. Ty looks to go a bit wide at turn 1. He could probably get away with that. Ty's the first one to start his last flying lap. Padge also on his flying lap. Lewis also on his flying lap. So our P11, 12 and 13 are all on a lap. Our P2 man, Cod Camper, has started his final flying lap. So I'll keep an eye on Cod's times. As the man is looking to take Paul off, Thomas starts his flying lap. As Cod is 8300ths up. Now that, at the moment, would be enough. But we have to see the improvement from Thomas, if there is any. I will jump to Thomas right as he's about to go into second sector to see his split. Thomas is 8500ths down. And Cod Camper is a 10th and a half up. So Thomas, through sector 1, not doing enough at the moment to defend his pole position. As Cod Camper, foot flat to the floor. He's looking to take another pole position. As Ty can't improve on his lap, stays P11. And next across the line will be Padge, followed by this man here, our championship leader. Padge goes up to P9. The Cod Camper puts in a 131.6. Can Thomas do anything to fight back here? Can Civix do anything to potentially jump Thomas? We will all know in the next few corners as Thomas throws it to the left. Thomas has invalidated his lap. So Thomas, he would have gone P2 with that lap, has invalidated. So we go to CVix, who's a tenth and just shy of 2 tenths up. If he can keep it together, he's going to jump to P2. Potentially find more improvement to the line. As Chipmunk goes to P2, CVix jumps to pole. He's found more time. It's half a tenth. But that's all the difference. CVix at the moment is on pole. The Snipes is on an improvement. As Jensen goes to P2. He found 4.5 tenths on that final lap. Well, that got interesting at the end. That got very interesting. I thought Cod was on for pole. And in comes CVix to take pole by 26 hundredths from Jensen. Oh, that's less than ideal, Snipes. Look at the gaps. We've got 6 tenths between less than 6 tenths between P1 and P8. That is exceptional. That is about, they took at the top 3 6 hundredths. That's about the closest qualifying I can remember. It could have been between the top 4 because Tomas did improve his lap, but he did invalidate. Well, that got interesting at the end. And well done to CVix, so I believe that is his, if I think rightly, that might well be his first pole position. So as we go into our break, before the start of the race, this is the awkward bit where we don't have much to talk about. I am trying to find whether CVix has taken a pole. I don't believe he has. Where is he? On our board. I'll tell you where I can find it. And assist tier 1. If we go to results. Qualifying, we had Willow on pole in round 1. We had Adrian's on pole in round 2. Jensen on pole in round 3. Adrian's on pole in round 4. Cod Camper on pole in round 5. In round 6 last week, we had Jensen on pole. And in round 7, yep, that is CVix's first pole in IIRL. Well done to you, sir. That is a cracking lap. And the gaps between the top 3, next to nothing. If we want to look at last week's race, so we were at Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve last week. Our biggest mover was Scott, also known as SOX. Went from P11 up to P4. Our race winner was Cod Camper. He finished 2 seconds ahead of Adrian's. We then had Jensen, who finished P3. SOX in P4, that guy in P5, Johnny B P6, Padge in P7, Ty in P8, Jack in P9, Chipmunk P10, Rella P11, Y2 P12. We had 3 DNFs in Turbo, Lewis and Mink. So that was our race last week for round 6. So, just a quick heads up, every time Cod Camper has raced, He has finished P1. Will that change tonight? Let's play the guessing game. Prediction game. So you're going predictions for the race. I really can't decide given how that qualifying was. This is going to come down to strategy. Prediction, I get the worst safety car possible. Yes. Yeah, because Snipes never gets a good safety car. He is just 2021 Lewis. Rella has joined. I didn't even know Rella had left. As it stands, we're on for a dry race, so we're not going to have any interference of the wet. Which is a shame. So have we got any predictions in the chat for the win? I can't decide who I'm going to go for. So I'll go through the tyres. We've got Cvix looking to start on the hards. Jensen, Cod and Thomas looking to start on the mediums. Chipmunk on the hards. Snipes, you can't be going on the softs. Please don't. Johnny B on the mediums. That guy on the hards. SOX on the medium. Padge on the medium. Rella on the medium. Jack on the hard. Ty on the medium. And Lewis on the medium. If you go for softs, you're a crazy. So our pole sitter at the moment is looking to go long on his first stint and have pace at the end. Meanwhile, our second, third and fourth place drivers are looking to go aggressive from the start. And potentially pull an undercut that Cvix just can't get back into. But given the pace of our top 8, the pace shown by the top 8, Snipes comes off the softs. Probably for the best. We're about to go out for our formation lap. And we'll know for definite now. So Cvix is on the hards. Chipmunk and Snipes on the hards. That guy on the hards. And Jack on the hard tyre. Looking to go longer. That leaves Jensen, Cod and Thomas on the mediums. Johnny B on the medium. SOX, Padge and Rella on the mediums. Ty and Lewis on the medium. As Rella has left the session again. Oh no, that's an issue. I don't think I have Rella added to get him back in. I'll just have a look while we're on the formation lap. Unfortunately, don't have Rella as a friend, so if someone could get him back in, that would be unbelievable. I wonder if he's having some connection issues, which would be a shame, really. Oh no, Snipes, no! So you're on a quali setup. So that adds to the drama. Keep an eye on Snipes. His tyre wear will be 90 by the end of lap 3. Oh, Snipes. Well, I hope it's still drivable. It got you to P6 and about a few tenths off pole, so it's a pretty quick setup, let's put it that way. So we've got on with this formation lap pretty quickly, but they're going to be waiting a while for the AI car of Rella to get into his grid slot. Cvix wasting no time at all, looking to get on with this. as that guy has overshot his pit box. Unfortunately, now that's not going to help him. As SOX Edge, it creeps up to his pit box. We've got Rella, who at the minute I believe is an AI, looking to get onto the grid. Fortunately, I don't have Rella added, otherwise I would add him back. So here we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. 1 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights on. And it's lights out, and away they fly, to quote Scott. As we've got movers, Civic's on the hards, has had a struggle at the start. He's down to P4, potentially. Our pole sitter is down to P5. At the moment, they make it through clean. As he's got Snipes. Snipes has a bit of a wobble after contact with Rella. It could get even worse for our pole sitter. He's down to P6. Horror start. He's down to P7. Horror start for our man on pole. I think he's just got wing damage as well. He's down to P10. What has happened to our pole sitter? He's lost an end plate. Oh, this is a horror start. That's not what is needed for our pole sitter. As Jensen leads the way. As he goes wide. Oh, weaving there. Now that, I don't know how legal that is. But Tomas is right on the gearbox of Jensen, and if he's on lower wings, he might be looking for a move. So go down the field. Civic's our pole sitter. He's backing off. Down to P12. As Snipes, is he looking for a move on Johnny B? He's left it late. Johnny B escapes as Jensen maintains the lead. He's going to lead the first lap, but he's got Tomas and Cod all in close proximity as that guy goes really wide. As Tomas is giving no room to Cod Camper. And Cod Camper almost touches the back of Tomas. Oh, it's all getting tasty, and they're fighting away on this first lap as that guy gets through on SOX. Great little move in turn 1 there. Now, I don't know if that part is turn 2 or turn 3. As Civic's our pole sitter, a horror start for our first time pole sitter. As Cod gets past, Tomas leaves him just enough space on the inside. They're going side by side into the long left-hander. Tomas is still there, but he's had to back out of that. Cod, our championship leader, wasting no time at all in wanting to get into the lead of this race and control the pace of this race. Okay, yeah, we've seen the possible strategies many times. We don't need to see them anymore. Oh, thank you, EA Sports. As Cod's having a massive wobble, that's allowed Jensen to scamper away. Cod's still going to get the DRS. He has got the DRS open. I think he might have gone for a bit of a lower wing setup, or he might be using battery, I can't be too sure. As he clips a lot of that inside curb. As we go on to lap 3, and that guy runs really wide again. Does that open the door for SOX? It does. As the Williams driver moves back up to P7 as Jack gets past the Ferrari of It's Lewis in his Mercedes on the hard tyres, looking to get racy early doors. And there is our pole sitter Civic's, a horror start. Lost places off the line and ended up with front wing damage, a horror show for our pole sitter, but he's got the pace. And a safety car or two might bring him back into this race as Jensen continues to lead the way. In that very Tottenham looking Williams, but the less said about Tottenham the better. I don't like it. As Padge, has Padge had a moment somewhere? He's dropped off the back of the grid. And Padge going very slowly there. Jensen builds a bit more of a buffer as Ty manages to get past the Ferrari of its Lewis. Lewis made up a good few positions at the start. Jensen pushing along. They'll be looking hopefully to break the DRS from the drivers behind. At the minute we've got a bit of a DRS train as he sets the fastest lap on one, which has then been taken by SOX by a good few tenths there. So SOX has got the pace. But at the moment they're just all in a DRS train. Our top 9 are all in a DRS train. Then we've got a 1.5 second gap back to Ty, who's then got his own DRS train going on. And then Padge has just dropped off the back slightly, and then Civix, as we know, had a bit of a... has had to box as Tomas looked at for a late move on Cord. Thought better of it. As Civix, there you go, that's the pace he can show. He's just set the fastest lap. By what, about half a second? That's clean air for you. There's Jensen. Oh, it's Tomas is all over the back. My apologies, I've done this the wrong way. It was all over the back of Cod there. Jensen, I don't know if he's had an issue. And Tomas had a look. Again, thought better of it. This really is one long DRS train. Now, it's Cod a bit closer this time to potentially look at a move into P1. He'll want to control the speed of this race. Thinks better of it and backs out of it. Oh, Tomas has to go into the back of Cod. As Snipes gets past Johnny B. And that DRS train is still from P1 down to P9 as Jensen is weaving again. Cod with DRS can't get any closer. And Jensen's doing a really good job here. This is really mature driving to just know when to use the battery, know where he can be quicker, to just keep the lead from the championship leader. He'll be desperate to get past. There's already been contact between him and Tomas. Nothing intentional. Tomas just left it ever so slightly too late to brake. They've both got away with it fine. There's not really been many movers and shakers at the moment. So from P10 downwards, they're just out of this DRS train. Jack at the back of this snake. And Cod a bit closer this time to Jensen. Is the use of battery and DRS going to help to get him past the Williams? It's going to be a late lunge if he goes for it. He thinks better of it again. Jensen with just enough straight line speed to just maintain that advantage. P1 to P9 is less than 4 seconds. Now that's not something you see every day unless you're watching F1 esports. Those on the hard tyres will be hoping that soon those mediums, though they are quite durable, they do start to fall off a cliff as ChicChipmunk has to defend from Snipes. They've left each other plenty of racing room. The two that couldn't be separated in the sprint race, as Snipes backs out. I'll tell you what, this is a cracking camera angle on that Mercedes. Stay on board, look, you can see the leader, he's just there. It's just a shame that there's 3 cars in between him and the leader. As Corder looks a lot closer to Jensen this time round, if he can get the power down. But Jensen does well to get the power down and build a good gap out of this corner, but Cod is a lot closer this time. The gap was, I think, it's just 4 tenths. Now is Cod gonna be a bit closer. to have a look down the inside again. Jensen just enough straight line speed as Tomas has a look down the inside as ChicChipmunk. Out of nowhere, ChicChipmunk jumps up to P3. Tomas, I think, ran a bit wide, having a look at Cod. And that's unleashed the McLaren driver on the hard tyre. As Snipes is looking around the outside, now that could get tasty. Snipes, is he looking for the switch back to the inside? Tomas defends that well. As tie into the box. My assumption would be a two-stop from there. As SOX has just dropped ever so slightly, he's just dropped out of DRS, but it's back in DRS now. So ChicChipmunk with a crucial move there on those hard tyres to jump up to P3. He's in a great position and on a great strategy, as it stands, to potentially look for a race win. As Jensen and Cod cannot break away, this train, P1 down to P9, whoever is at the front is disadvantaged, as they just don't have the DRS, but Jensen seems to have good low wings to maintain a gap, as we've got a yellow flag. Is that for Padge? Has Padge had a moment? I don't think he has. He might have done. He's dropped off the back a bit further. The Civics now can see another car on track. And again, Jensen into the hairpin maintains the lead. As there's movement at the back, and that guy and Jack. Now if these two start battling, they are going to drop out of DRS. They managed to maintain it. That guy looks a little bit wide. So that guy holds on to his advantage ahead of Jack. I'm not sure particularly well when the crossover happens between the medium and the hard tyre around China. But from the looks of it, ChicChipmunk might be, at this point, on the better tyre than those ahead of him. So we'll stay on board with ChicChipmunk. Yeah, those front tyres are looking a bit worse for wear on the Ferrari. How are they looking on the Williams? Yeah, the outside left looks a bit difficult. He's waiting for a long time to get that power down. There's ChicChipmunk. I think ChicChipmunk's going to have a look at Cod. This must be about the time the hard tyre comes into its own, as Cod is forced into a move, and ChicChipmunk with the double overtake goes into P1, but can Cod Camper get the power down? He can. Cod Camper takes the lead, and our former race leader Jensen is down to P3. He's lost out to ChicChipmunk as well. So I wonder if now is the crossover, as Snipes is looking to get racy with Tomas, and Snipes, has he got superior grip round the outside on those hard tyres? Tomas defends it well. Is he going to be left the space? Now these two fighting, that might hamper their race if they lose the DRS. Snipes can't get ahead, but he goes for a switch back and moves back onto the inside line. Now these two are putting up a great fight. Let's stay on board with this, as Tomas has a bit of a wobble. Maintains that fourth place. As Jensen got back past through ChicChipmunk, I didn't see that in all that battling. My apologies there. So our P3 man, who was for a moment in P1 at the hairpin, is now back down to P3. We've gone to the back straight now. Jensen looked to have good straight line speed even without DRS. What's it going to be like with DRS? He's pushing Cod Camper around as Snipes finally gets past Tomas and defends the switchback. Forces Tomas to go off track. Now Tomas is going to lose out to Johnny B. Johnny B up to P5. As Rella and Lewis are having a little side-by-side, even though Rella's in an AI. And Lewis is passed into P10. As Lewis goes straight on into the pits. So that is our first pitter. Sorry, our third pitter, as we've had Ty, Box and Civic's Box, of course. So Johnny B has dropped out of the DRS. So the top four, as it stands, have managed to break the DRS train. Now Johnny B will want to push to get back into that DRS train, or when it comes to the main straight, he will be a sitting duck. Cod Camper goes through, I believe that's, I want to say that's turn 8, but I might be wrong. It's Johnny B pushing to get back in DRS. Can he get back in DRS and save his race? Or is he going to be just outside the detection point? He's just on the exit and Johnny B is out of DRS. So the top four have managed to break the DRS train. I wonder if Tomas will be looking to get past Johnny B as Rella has joined back in. That's a good sign as he's currently in P10. Johnny B looks to have good straight line speed as Tomas can't get past even with the DRS. So our hard tyre runners in Snipes and Chipmunk just sitting back waiting. SOX, I wondered why he dropped off. He's gone into the pits, don't speed. Oof. You very lucky boy. You very lucky boy. But it doesn't matter so much, those tyres will be going into the nearest skip. And then made into more tyres. So SOX looking for quite a long stint on those hard tyres, about 17 laps. 18 maybe? Yeah, 17, 18 laps. Cod Camper maintains the lead. We've got Padge getting past Rella. Oh, as Rella goes really deep. That's not where you really want to put an F1 car. We haven't paid for that part of the track. Cod's got a nice buffer back to Jensen. Jensen is able to get the power down really well. Is Jensen going to be close enough to look for a move? He has a little poke down the inside. He forces Cod a bit wide. A bit wider than Cod would have liked. Cod maintains the lead. As that is Jensen into the pits. As that guy gets a 3-second penalty. That is the first track limits penalty we've had. It might not seem much, but that could be really crucial given how tight this top 10 is. We've got Snipes all over the back of Chipmunk. As we've got a safety car. Now what has happened? What on earth has happened there? We've got a safety car. As Padge is missing a front wing. Snipes has called it, and I'd say, much like last week, Jensen has boxed the lap before the safety car and has been massively hindered. That is less than ideal for the man who's been leading this race for so long. SOX as well has just come out of the pits. Now then, that's perfect timing for Cod Camper and Tomas. and it's going to bunch the field back up again. It's also worked out wonderfully for Civix, who had that incident at the start. Our pole sitter has now got a chance to get back into this race. As Cod pits, don't want to speed on the safety car, gets in nicely. Now, who is going to benefit from this? Given the length that's left in this race. As Cod is held, Cod's getting held! But he's still come out, so the others will have been held. Nah, Snipes, I feel your pain, mate. Why do you think I don't race as much? It's such a calmer life, just sat in the commentary box watching you guys race. Tell you, as you get older, it's brilliant, honestly. Just not racing and not having to worry. Do it as a hobby, it's fun. Rather than worrying about it so much. So Cod maintains the lead. That has absolutely hindered Jensen's race as he stays down in P8. It's brought Civix back into this race. It's also potentially going to hinder that guy with a 3-second penalty. Now that doesn't seem a lot, but given how tight this field is, with a safety car, he could really suffer here. The Red Bull driver. I think the drivers in the best position, as it stands, are Cod and Thomas. Given the tyres they're on, and the length of time left in this race, I think those on the mediums are going to have one heck of a stint to get to the end. It's benefited Scott, who blinked earliest to go to the hard tyres, as the marshals wave the yellow flags. But for what I can only assume the safety car came out due to Padge picking up damage. I'm not sure where he picked that up, I'm guessing he picked it up in the pit lane. Oh no, what pressures are you on? Are your tyres overheating? As we've got Chipmunk and Jack jumping back into the pits, my guess would be to go to a set of hard tyres. Yes, Chipmunk goes to some new hard tyres. Almost as low as it gets. Oh, you are going to be overheating, my friend. That is not good. Quali style. Oh. I knew you forgot to change your setup, but the pressures as well. Oh. You're P2, mate. Get on the attack. Ooh, no. That's less than ideal. Doesn't have another set of hard tyres. That's not ideal. So the field's now bunched back up. Everything is bad. Oh, I feel bad for you. Tell you what, you've kept the pace up well. Just keep it going, mate. So safety car in this lap. We are going to get green flag running. Now, because of the length of this back straight, we could be waiting a while for Cod to get the hammer down. As we wave goodbye to Burden Mylander as he drives past. But as the old saying goes, safety cars cause safety cars. Everything cools down. The pressures change on the tyres. I don't know how much they do in the actual F1 game, I doubt it, because it's the most unrealistic thing I've ever played. But we wait as COD! Well, he caught everyone napping, he caught me napping, it's 1.6 seconds. That is a really early jump from our championship leader. As SOX runs a bit wide, that might open the door to his teammate. Burn Mylander parks up in his usual spot at the end of the pit lane, waiting for more chaos to occur. As Tomas was caught out as well, he's a second behind Snipes, who on his quali setup will be hoping to close down the gap that COD Camper made. That was a brilliant jump from COD Camper. I've got to say, that's one of the best safety car restarts I've seen in a long time. So it's clear that the medium tyre has warmed up a lot faster than that hard tyre. But given Snipes' setup, is it going to overheat and fall off a cliff? 1.6 seconds back to Tomas from Snipes and 1 second back from COD Camper. It's now less than a second, so those medium tyres, as of now, are the much quicker tyre. Tomas is really struggling for tyre warm-up as that guy's all over the rear. As Padge, no! What did you do? As the Red Bull is well and truly past the RB, and SOX is having a look. Tomas has really struggled on this opening lap after the safety car. The Snipes sets the fastest lap. I'm going to jump on board with Snipes because he's very close to the back of our current race leader and current championship leader. And with Adrian's not racing, COD, if he can win this race, has the opportunity to go. Plus the points for the sprint. COD could go nearly 70 points clear. If Snipes can stay with him through this tight twisty section, our front two have absolutely scampered away, so COD is going to pick up 9 points for that sprint. So that puts him 49 points clear as it stands, but at the minute he's on for another 25. COD could well be 74 points clear come the end of this race. Snipes has DRS. If we've got any movers and shakers, Jensen is past his teammate, who didn't put up much of a fight, and I don't think he's going to put much of a fight up to Johnny B, unless these two came very close in the sprint race. Are they going to get close on track here? Yes, they are. And the Haas just about squeezes through up into P6. And no, I'm not going to repeat the Crofty line. He squeezes the Haas. As that guy and Tomas having a nice little scrap here for the podium position. Now that guy will want to get a move on, as he knows Tomas's tyres will get faster the more the race goes on. But Tomas has really struggled since the jump to the hard tyre. And Jensen just sitting back and observing this battle. He's just out of the DRS range. He'll want to close that gap ever so slightly just to get in the DRS. Snipes is back up to 6 tenths. Tomas is 3 seconds behind. Now he's really struggled on these hard tyres. Now can Snipes get the power down, and can he be close enough to challenge COD Camper into this hairpin? The gap is just over half a second. It's just gone to 6 tenths. Is he going to be close enough? Will he gain enough with the DRS? See, I don't think he will. Maybe on the last game, F124, it would have done. But given the lack of slipstream and how weak the DRS is, he's not really gained much. As Lewis and Jack having a nice little scrap, and Jack gets through. Our current AT2 championship leader gets through, but Lewis gets back through. That's a great little move from Lewis there in the Ferrari. Lewis, Ferrari, see, it just works, As Jack gets back through, past the Ferrari, as Tomas has closed in by a few tenths on Snipes, who has managed to keep relatively close to Cod Camper. And again, Tomas has just gained those few extra temps. Maybe those tyres starting to come to him as he starts to get temperature. And we know the hard tyre started to get better than the medium around lap 8. So we've got a few laps to go before the hard tyre is firmly the better race tyre to be on. As Cod looks like he locks up, but that might just be the game and the spectator camera. Again, with DRS, Tomas loses out to the front two, but still maintains a gap behind, so he's comfortable in front of that guy. As Snipes had a look, it wasn't close enough as he runs a bit wide. As Jensen, the Williams, is past that guy and defends the inside line really nicely. As we have got another safety car. Now then, it looks like Lewis is in the wall on the pit straight. I didn't see what happened there, but we have got another full course caution and another safety car now. Who has got another set of mediums? And the gap that Cod Camper and Snipes had built is now irrelevant, as the field will bunch back up now. Do we have anyone brave enough to jump into the pits? What a great camera angle this is. The Snipes likes the idea of another safety car. See, this one's helped you. And he says you don't have another set of hard tyres. So I'm gonna assume you've got another set of mediums. Now this has helped you. Now, will our championship leader box? I think the smart money is to box. Yep, our championship leader's in. Snipes is in. Is Tomas in? Yes, he is. I think we're going to have another big set of pit stops here. It looks like the entire field is coming in for a pit stop. Now then. Oh, they're getting held. As Cod gets out ahead of Snipes, ahead of Tomas, ahead of Jensen. Did that guy onto the hards? Johnny B onto the mediums, Rella onto the mediums, SOX onto the mediums, gets ahead of Rella. Ty onto the softs. Now then, Jack onto the mediums, Civix on the mediums, Chipmunk on the mediums, Padge on the hards. So see, this has played right into your hands, hasn't it now? Finally, a good safety car for you. that's fighting talk. Now we're going to see a battle. But even with saving, I would probably blow up. Yeah, we this game, famed for it. So we are going to have, effectively, a mini sprint at the end of the Chinese Grand Prix. To decide the winner of the feature race. Our sprint winner, Tomas, is in P3, looking for first podium on his debut in IIRL, might I add. Might be a contender for driver of the day. So the safety car is going to stay out another lap. I imagine it'll be the end of this lap. Now, Cod will want another safety car restart like he got at the end of the last safety car, because he pulled a 1.6 second gap. Are you allowed to go this before the safety car is actually in? Now, I think... I'm not... I think as long as you don't overtake the safety car before the start-finish line, I think you're okay. I think, because I remember in Baku 2017, Lewis nearly overtook the safety car before it was in the box, before it was in the pit lane. I do remember that. But I can clarify that for you. And if I can't clarify it for you now, I can. It will be in the steward's handbook, which you will have access to. As the safety car is coming in. Yeah, I'm not going to have time to find it now for you, Snipes, but what I will do... Right, if you want to have a look through the steward handbook, you can do that. Apologies, void break, that's good at 26. Oh, has Cod gone again? He has! Now Cod has got an even bigger jump this time. He's brought a 2-second gap. So Cod has had another amazing safety car restart. He's caught the field napping and he's brought out a 2-second gap. Now that could be crucial. As Jack gets past Ty, Ty looks down the inside on the soft tyres and they're all at it here. The Ty gets a 3-second penalty. Snipes has managed to close in by just under about 4 tenths to Cod Camper. Cod with another impeccable safety car restart. Ty looking for a move on Civix, but he's too far back to make an impact really, as Tomas is out. He's out of a second as Johnny B gets past that guy. on the medium tyre versus that guy's hard tyres. But that guy's fighting back. He's not going to give this up. Is that guy back past into the braking zone? Yes, he is. He's a car length ahead. Johnny B, is he going to lose out to SOX? SOX tucks in. Oh, there's a bit of contact at the back there. I believe that was Rella, went into the side of Chipmunk. No, I don't think there's any damage. Snipe sets the fastest lap. But Codder's built a nice buffer between himself and the rest of the field. As Tomas is within DRS of Snipes. And Snipes keeps, through this middle part of the lap, seems to be gaining on Cod. As Ty manages to get back past Rella, on making use of those soft tyres, but obviously Ty does have a 3-second penalty that will be added at the end of the race. So Tomas will have DRS on second place man Snipes. Looking to clarify the pace he has, as we've got a 3.5 second back gap back from Jensen to that guy on the hard tyres. So those hard tyres again taking a while to warm up. So the top 4 yet again have managed to break away. As Chipmunk gets past Jack, as Johnny B gets past that guy, as Padge gets a 3-second penalty again. Not again, Padge. We go on to lap 24. Johnny B maintains P5. SOX on the attacks that guy for P6. That guy fights back. Bit of argy-bargy. All legal. And SOX is through into P6. As Chipmunk got past that guy, those hard tyres really not working for him at the moment. As Jensen and Tomas looking to get racing with Snipes. It's Chipmunk and SOX having a nice little scrap through the long left-hander, which then turns to the inside, which allows the McLaren to get ahead, and he stays ahead of the Williams. But he drops out of the DRS, so that's going to open the door for SOX. As we go to Cod, who's built back up that 2-second buffer between himself and Snipes in P2. And it's 8 tenths back to Tomas, who's now under attack from Jensen. He's forced him onto the grass. Jensen on the grass. Now, was that a bit of a late move? We'll have to see. As a bit of end plate looked to be flying off at the back there. We've got caution in sector 3, but for who? Chris Kamara? Oh, he did, and it's gone now. I don't know, Jeff. You know, Cod comfortably out in front. 2 seconds to go. 2 seconds, the advantage, with around 3 2/3 laps to go. As Civix retires in the pit lane. It's been a bit of a horror race from our pole sitter. He took pole. And then it's everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. He lost positions at the start, he damaged his front wing, and he's not been able to make inroads back to where he started, which is a shame really, because it showed he has the pace. The gap now 2.7 seconds, and that's let Jensen back in to the DRS of Snipes. Jensen will be looking to get a move on. Will Jensen jump up to P2? Jensen looking for a late lunge. They're going side by side at the hairpin. All this battling is letting Cod just scamper away. As Snipes hold on to P2-4 now, but there is another DRS straight on the main straight. Can Jensen, he's going to the inside, so he's got the inside line and he's past Snipes. But can Snipes fight back into this long right-hander? So Jensen up to P2 now. He's got 2 2/3 laps. 2 2/3 laps to go. To potentially push on and go for the win if he can see if he can challenge Cod Camper. The gap is 2.6 seconds. He's got the rest of this lap and then 2 more laps to go to go and fight Cod Camper. The gap extending 2.9 seconds now. 2.8 as we go into sector 3. Cod's just looking to manage the pace, bring it home. Got a nice buffer behind. Snipes and Thomas, are they close enough to really challenge the Williams? Thomas has a big look at the inside, thinks better of it and backs out of it. So our sprint race winner currently looking to try and jump onto the podium as Cod starts lap 27. The gap is 2.4 seconds. Now I wonder again if Jensen is on quite low wings, as he seems to have the good straight line speed to maintain his position. 2.4 the gap, 2.5 the gap. That down to 2.4. And he battles further back. We've got Ty tucked up behind the Mercedes of Jack. Looking to try and make an inroads, but he does have that 3-second penalty looming, so as it stands he would be P11. We've got Thomas just waiting for something to happen to the cars in front to potentially look for a podium position. We've got 4.5 seconds back to Johnny B, who's just quietly running his own race. Just managing to keep the drivers behind out of DRS. We've got SOX behind in the Williams. Looking to make an inroads into this race. Chipmunk is now with less than a second behind Johnny B. Does he get the rear wing open? No, he wasn't within that second in the detection zone. But he might well be on this lap. That guy on the hard tyres have not really worked since the last safety car. He's down in P8. We've got Ty's now under pressure from Rella and Padge. But Cod has started the final lap, the championship leader. After the sprint currently there's a 49-point advantage to P2. Would make it a 74-point gap between himself and Adrian's in P2, and he has a big slide. Might be thinking about the victory champagne a touch too early there. But he's managed to save it, and for the most part hang on to his win as Snipes getting very close to the back of that Williams, and so is the RB getting very close to the back of that Mercedes. So who will finish on the podium? It looks like the top step has been decided. Will it be Snipes? Will it be Thomas? Will Jensen be double passed? We shall see at the end of the 1.2 kilometre back straight as Cod is doing victory weaves already. You're not there yet, son. Cod Camper slams on the anchors as Snipes goes for a move. That was a very late defence from Jensen. Is that going to open the door for Thomas as Jensen looks to defend? Snipes gets the inside line. Snipes Moves up to P2 and they pushed each other off track. Cod Camper wins, followed by Snipes, followed by Tomas. As Jensen's just received a penalty for cutting a corner and gaining an advantage as Willow comes into the stream. Hello, my friend. That was good timing on your behalf. You've come in at the last lap. You've missed a fairly exciting race. I hope your race was good too. In Padge, as we have our winner Cod Camper doing front flips. Willow has won the PSGL F5, F6 title. Now, Willow's here. I've got a question for you, Willow. So, Johnny, the minute you're on the podium, because Jensen got a 20-second penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. So, Willow, question. Oh, Johnny P4. Oh, of course. Tomas did leave. Tomas left. So yeah, Johnny, I'm sorry to rain on your parade, but that is a P4. But still, cracking effort. Yeah, Jensen might fight to get that removed. Of course, he can in the steward's room. So from Johnny B, I thought he'd got a podium. He is now in P4. That is, I do apologise for that. So, well, I've got a question to ask you. I'll message you it. But that was the Chinese Sprint and Grand Prix. Well, Cod, our race winner, further extending his championship lead. Anywho, what a race. Yeah, cracking race to watch, cracking race to commentate on. That is the first time I have commentated on my own, so I hope I've done a good job, those that were in the stream. All that leaves me to say is, hopefully you can join us on Sunday for our third and final Chinese Grand Prix in 82. How did I find it? I loved it. I thought it raced. So yeah, hopefully you can join us on Sunday for our 82 race. Again, it'll be a sprint, short qualifying, and then a 50% feature race around China. And then next week we are back with Zandvoort on Tuesday in No Assist, followed by Thursday in 81 and Sunday in 82. Right, beer time. Yeah, Johnny V, I agree. So that has been all from me. So that just leaves me to say thanks for watching and hope to see you again. Thanks everybody, take care, and I shall see you later. Bye!